I like to do intimidation. It's kind of my thing.
So Baylor coming up next, the 6-element pass in tumbling. It is the freshman, Payton Washington.
I want to intimidate, but I want to show you by me having fun. By me dancing, laughing with my teammates, but I'm also locked in.
Here she is. We've seen her quite a bit today. Here she is.
So I'm literally in this like straight standing up position, waiting for them to call my name so I can wave, and I'm staring at the other team. If it's my individual pass, I'm like, I'm about to show these officials what I can do. I'm gonna get that 10 today, and I'm just locked in, about to do what my training has taught me.
We'll see her also start with a punch front, 4.5 to a beautiful full at the end. Wow.
5'2" Payton Washington is captivating when she jumps, twists, and flies through the air as a member of Baylor's acrobatics and tumbling team.
Payton's a powerhouse. She's good at everything. She's good at flying, she's good at tumbling. You can give Payton a task and she will get it done.
And the way she soars all over the place, you would never know that powerhouse Payton's energy was nearly drained by a gunman.
I don't want to be looked at as the girl that got shot. I only want you to see me as an athlete competing against the best of the best. This getting shot was one part of my story, not the entire thing.
Welcome to BYU Radio's Big Stories, telling the amazing and inspiring tales from the Big 12 and beyond. I'm your host, Cleon Wall. Our episode, Payton Washington, You Only Live Once.
That's why I say YOLO. I mean, I'm not done. I'm living present in the moment, and I'm going to keep doing the best I can to be the best person I can.
Payton's path to athletic achievement didn't start out very promising.
I had a cystic malformation on my right lung that had to be removed at 6 months old. They told my mom I wasn't gonna make it. I was like the first person for them to do my lung surgery telescopically. I was basically a guinea pig, so that's why they thought I wasn't gonna make it. She had a 1-year-old birthday for me at 6 months before my surgery so she could have memories.
Payton was left with only one working lung after the surgery. So doctors told Payton's parents that they needed to strengthen that lung.
So 4 years old, my parents put me dance, gymnastics, and t-ball because both of my parents played baseball or softball. I was horrible at t-ball. I ran away from the ball, and I just couldn't do that. Gymnastics was way too slow for me, so I needed to be something fast-paced because I'm a little like fast twitch. That's kind of how I am. That gymnastics gym had a cheer gym connected to it, and I was like, let's just go for that.
Cheerleading eventually led her to Waco, Texas.
I would come to the little clinics that were here at Baylor, do like the overnight camps and different stuff like that.
My name is Felicia Mulkey, and I'm the head acrobatics and tumbling coach at Baylor University. All of my athletes call me Coach Fee. I don't even remember the first time Payton came to a camp, but you don't forget her when she comes. You know, she's a little spitfire, what she has been ever since, you know, she was 3 feet tall, running around and flipping around and doing all of these amazing little ninja skills.
How I was raised was you get a college degree. So was my goal is I'm gonna go to a college and get my degree, but my sport's gonna help me get there. And cheer, unfortunately, wasn't the route that I could take to be able to go to a big college that I wanted to. So then acro started rolling around, the coaches started recruiting me, and I was like, I don't think I wanna do it. Like I told everyone I wasn't gonna do acro. But then the moment I started talking to them, I stepped on campus, I was like, yep.
The way we choose our team, I want there to be like this high level of athleticism, but I also need it to fit at Baylor. There's a certain type of, you know, drive, work ethic, and then also just, you gotta be a good human being. You gotta be able to, you know, to fit what is our program and what our philosophy is. And Payton fit all of that from the beginning.
They just texted me, we had a couple phone calls, a couple Zoom calls, and then I was like, I love it. I was like, Coach V, how do I commit? Can I verbally commit? She was like, if you wanna be a bear, you're a bear. So we shook on it, and that was my verbal commitment. And then a couple months later is when I got to sign that document and become a Baylor Bear.
We were thrilled when she committed to Baylor.
Cheer not only provided Payton a path to Baylor, it also furnished friendships.
I'm Keyona Huebel, and I'm Payton's best friend. I wanted to be on the team that she was on, so I texted her and I was like, hey, do you know if there's a spot? And she told me that I could try out.
They both competed for the Woodlands Elite Cheer Company, but on different teams.
She unfortunately didn't make generals, because I mean, there's only 22 people on that team, so it's hard to make generals. But she made Red Angels, which is another world's team, which Red Angels are just as good as generals. They're amazing.
And then we ended up driving from Austin to Houston together for every single practice, and now we're best friends.
It didn't matter that she was on a different team because we were still like this, driving together every single day, hanging outside of cheer, and I mean, being with her 24/7, we became sisters just like that.
Several times a week, these girls carpooled together, including the night of April 18th, 2023. Payton, Keyona, and 2 other cheerleaders were driving home after another practice. It was 1 week before their teams were set to compete in the Cheerleading Worlds competition.
I was thinking about my last competition ever, the biggest competition ever. We were probably going to win, and that was a competition that I've been wanting my entire life because that's the epitome of cheerleading, was that competition. We had an amazing practice. It was about 9:30 when we left practice.
I was driving, and Payton was next to me in the passenger seat.
We practiced every single day that week. So I was tired, but I know I had to stay awake because the other 2 girls were asleep, and I need Keyona to be on her best driving capability. So I was gonna try to talk to her, be on TikTok, not go to bed. Like, it was just normal, listening to our music, singing, jamming.
When it was midnight, so there wasn't a lot of people out. We were in Elgin, Texas. It's a little small town. I had pulled into a HP parking lot to let one of the other girls that was with us out so she could go get her car and so she could go back to her house.
I'm texting my mom about Baylor. I'm eating the pull and peel Twizzlers. Like, it's a normal day. HEB is big, normally lit up. Like, we thought that was a good place. It's lit, but not that lit. I mean, it's a Monday night in the middle of April. Like, no one's really out doing anything, but she went to her car with, like, what she thought was her car. I was still texting my mom about Baylor, and she gets back in our car, rolls down the window, and she apologizes to him.
She saw somebody's car that looked just like her car, exactly like her car, and she opened the door, realized that it wasn't her car. She told the man that she was really sorry. So she came back to my car. I said that I was sorry. The other girl said that she was sorry. He didn't really seem to care that we were really sorry. I saw him pull out the gun, and so I knew what was coming. And then when I heard the gunshots, we screamed, and I kind of tried to duck, but I was driving, so I just did my best at that.
Keyona just blasted off, like going 100 miles an hour. I had my blanket, I turned and like covered myself, and then I got hit.
Payton was bleeding through her leg, and the windows had got shot out, so I thought it was like some glass or something. And so I told her that it was gonna be fine and I would pull over in a little bit.
I'm like, hey, I need you to pull over right now. I'm nauseous, I need you to pull over. I can't hear, of course, because of the ringing. And once she finally pulls over, she's not even to a complete stop before I open the door and I start throwing up blood. Like, it was that fast. Like, I knew something was wrong.
She was worried about her leg, but there was actually a bullet hole in her back that I had saw. And so when I had called 911, I told them that they needed to get there a little faster. But they already knew because somebody else had already called.
And it was I'm not gonna lie, it was a long time before like I actually got treatment. Like, I could have bled out. No one's talking to me. I'm literally just reading the put your seatbelt signs on, trying to get my mind off of everything and like, just breathe, stay calm, your body will listen. I was just telling my body what to do. I would tell myself to breathe and just calm down. Because if your mind and your body is calm, then everything will work out. But then finally the ambulance comes, they get me on the stretcher. I literally walk on the stretcher. Like, I'm completely fine, you have no idea. They take my blood in the ambulance, all my vitals.
They life-flighted her. I wanted to go with her, but they wouldn't let me. They kept us on the side of the road for 3 hours, just asking us questions, making sure that they had all their evidence and whatnot. And then as soon as they released us, I went to the hospital.
I knew God had me the entire time. I never thought I was gonna die. No one knew that I was okay, but I knew that I was gonna be okay the entire time, which is the weirdest feeling. Like, never being through something like that, you thought that I would have immediately thought, I mean, being an 18-year-old, that this was it, but I never felt that way. I was looking to the future. They get me to the OR, moved me onto the bed, and I asked the surgeon, I'm like, am I gonna be okay? And she was like, yeah, and I was like, okay, bet. You're good, thanks. Talked to the anesthesiologist. He was super nice. Like, I knew I was in great hands, but I didn't know what was wrong at all at this point.
Coach Fee didn't get the news until the following morning.
And it's one of those phone calls that just isn't real when you hear it. You know, like the athlete that called me was like, you know, Coach Fee, I just want to let you know this before it hits the news. Payton was shot last night. So, of course, my next question is she okay? What's going on? we're both kind of crying on the phone at this point, and we were nervous that, you know, she was shot in her lung. We were nervous because of all of the health issues that she had within an hour or two. My staff and I just jumped in a car and drove to Austin.
After I wake up and I have the ventilator out, my coaches came through the door, Coach Rao, Treasure, Coach Fee, like all the main coaches of Baylor, Acrobatics and Tumbling that everyone knows. They came through into my hospital room, and the first thing I say is, I'm sorry. So they just all just start bawling, like they are just bawling. And I was like, I'm gonna be okay, but I'm sorry.
And I think Payton started crying too. I think what I needed to let her know in that moment, because we didn't know what the future held for her, I needed her to know that she was okay with us. And no matter what athletics happened moving forward, she was one of us. I could only imagine what was going on in her little brain when the shock wore off, you know, like what is the future. So I think we needed to let her know, like, no matter what. And I think I told her, if you never flip your rear over your head again, we are home. Like, you are a bear. You're coming here.
The fact that I had that support made me want to work harder and push harder so I could do my job for the team, because that's what I really wanted to do.
And she, of course, told me right away that she was flipping and that there was no way she wasn't going to. And honestly, I knew that if anybody could get through that and do that, it was going to be her. She was still in the hospital when we went to our national championship. So it wasn't just me, like, nervous and praying and sending everything I can to her. The entire team, the current team, even kids who are graduating that were not going to be on the team with her, wrapped her up as well. So if you go back and look at pictures from that championship, when they took the floor to go and compete for their last championship, they tattooed "For Pay" all over their bodies. It's kind of funny. I even had it across my knuckles with a Sharpie, not a real tattoo, but "For Pay."
Her mom called me and told me that she took a step that day, and I immediately started crying because I was like, okay, she's gonna be fine. Like, there's nothing seriously wrong with her.
I lost my spleen, a lobe of my pancreas, I had 2 shots in my stomach and 2 in my diaphragm. So, and I only have 1 lung. So hitting my diaphragm and not my lung is just a miracle. Sunday night to Monday morning, they were like, if you could walk 30 steps over this little step stool, you can go home. I was like, I'm in so much pain, but I'm gonna do it. You can't tell me that I'm not gonna do that. I wanna go home. So I did it. I was winded as ever, but I did it. I was trying to teach myself how to walk again, try to teach myself how to eat again. I switched to the mindset that this wasn't an athletic injury. It wasn't gonna stop me to do athletics. You know how to flip your body. It had nothing to do with flipping your body. So I will be fine. I have 2 months to recovery, and so I can be on the team, I can be in the starting lineup. I've got the same gifts that everyone else has. I'm just gonna have to work a little bit harder to get there. In July, I started to do smaller passes.
She was showing me videos and of what she was doing at practice. And I was like, she's doing so good. Like, you would have never known that she was even in an accident or anything that had even happened to her.
I think the first video she sent us of her first skill back was a standing full, which 1% of the people in our sport can do a standing full.
While Payton was improving every day in the gym, she still struggled with the emotional trauma from the shooting.
Whenever I came to Baylor and every football game, they have fireworks go off. It took me like 5 home games to not jump when the fireworks went off. And then the last one is when we're lifting and we drop the weights. I think a lot of people, when they have trauma experiences like that, that's what haunts them, is the faces and the nightmares. But because mine was just sounds and not really like optics, that helped me a lot because I didn't know the guy who shot me.
Payton persevered, competing at a high level during her freshman season with the Baylor Bears. Then came the 2024 championships.
They put me in the starting lineup. I'm scoring well, I'm having fun with my team, hitting team event, doing everything that I need to do for this team.
Our second day, we competed against the University of Oregon, and our final event is team event. And that's when you have like 24 people on the floor and it's controlled chaos or, out there. And a structure that Payton was in fell. And it could have cost us the meet. It was not her fault. And all you see is Payton, little Payton, screaming, "Fight! Fight!" She's screaming at her teammates, running around, telling them basically to get as many points as you can. And that was a really cool moment as a coach. And we won.
And then ended up winning the national championship for Baylor's 10th time in a row. And then I also was All-American.
She won Freshman of the Year for her sport in the entire country. And then Baylor voted her Freshman of the Year out of all the student athletes here as well. So I would say she had a pretty good freshman year.
I've never met anybody with attitude like Payton. She's always positive. There's never really a day where she's just like down. I've never really seen her down, and if she is, it's not very long. She's just always positive.
Getting shot was, of course, probably one of the most traumatic experiences I probably ever could have gone through, but I try to think of it positively. I mean, it clearly happened for a reason. I was the only person that it happened to in that car out of 14 bullets, so it happened for a reason. My gunshot is right here on my tattoo, on my ribs, which should have shattered my ribs and went throughout my entire body and killed me, but for some reason went through that small hole of a rib.
And what does that skin art say?
My tattoo back here says, "Stop doubting and believe."
Payton has refocused her life on helping others.
And that's what I'm trying to do now, and speak about gun violence, trying to make sure that this doesn't happen to anyone else, and talking to youth, talking to people my age, and just different things like that. And then my second thing is YOLO. That's really what it is. You only live once, so cherishing every moment and being grateful for things given to you, being as fortunate as I am, because you never know when it could be taken away from you. Because I'm blessed to be here, I'm going to make sure that I'm living every day to the fullest and not taking anything for granted, because you never know.
Payton Washington, You Only Live Once, was produced and written by Sydney Simpson and Cleon Wall. Music and post-production by Kevin West. A big thanks to ESPN for the highlights. Make sure you watch BYUtv's Big Stories by logging on to BYUSN.com. Big Stories is a production of BYU Radio. Hey everyone, Cleon Wall here again. I'm inviting you to check out another BYU Radio podcast. It's called Deep Blue. It's where you get the true stories of BYU athletes and coaches from their own mouths. It's hosted by my colleague, Jason Shepard. Last season, they had great interviews on Deep Blue, including Cougar quarterback Gary Bohannon. He teared up quite a bit talking about his son and what it means for his boy to watch his dad play. Also, BYU swimmer Jordan Tiffany, who quit swimming due to mental health struggles. He talked about how he was able to get back in the pool again. More great conversations for season number 3. BYU running back Hinckley Rapati will talk about his tear-filled journey to BYU. Former BYU tight end Chad Lewis, he's going to reflect back on that special 1996 BYU football season. And BYU basketball players Richie Saunders and Fuseni Traore discuss their unique relationship. It started way before they got to BYU. Please subscribe and listen to Deep Blue with Jason Shepard wherever you get podcasts, or check it out on the BYU Radio app.